Hey everyone, it's Anna. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. Tonight I thought I would paint with this botanical Rosa Gallery paint set that I purchased recently. Here's a look at the colors. The little half pans that you see in there are ones that I added with extra tubes of paint, but I think all but maybe one or two of the full pans came with this palette. I'm going to be painting on a watercolor block from Paul Rubens. This is a watercolor block that I purchased, or that came with another watercolor set that I purchased recently. They call it a book, but it's actually a block where all the outside edges of the paper are adhered together so they stay flat. The paper stays flat while you paint on it. I've used some washi tape to protect the outside edges, and there you can see where I've sketched in a little simple sketch with a mountain, a tree, and the edge of the field that I'll be painting. The brushes that I'm going to use are the 1/2 inch faux sable from Dynasty, the number 8 and 10 silver black velvet, as well as a number 2 Escoda when I go to paint the tree. So I'm just going to start by painting my sky. I decided to use cobalt and cobalt teal. They are really fresh colors, I think, for summer sky, and with the granulation in them, I think they add a little bit of texture and interest. So I think they're fun colors to use for sky. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that in, and you'll see me lift up some color towards the end of the sky painting process so that I can add some very subtle clouds to my sky just for a little bit of extra interest. So I'm going to go ahead and let you watch the painting process, and then I'll come back to you. So while I wait for my sky to dry, I'm going to go ahead and add water to the area where my field of lavender will be. And I'm just adding some regular water here to this, and this will be where I paint in rows and rows and rows of lavender. Also, I'm going to be grabbing a piece of paper towel here and lifting out some color on the sky, just to add a little bit of clouds there in the little bit on the right hand side, which is a more dry area, so I didn't lift out very much, but the left hand side I was able to lift up a little bit more. So moving back to the field, I'm going to be painting my field with a mixture of olive green and green, and these are going to be the basically the foliage that you can see in the lavender field. So I'm just adding nice rows of green here to my field, and then once I get all these green rows filled in between I'll be adding the rows of lavender. So I'll be using violet and quin violet for the lavender. So I'll again let you go ahead and watch the painting process, and I'll come back to you. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of raw sienna where my lavender fields might have a little bit of soil visible amongst the rows. So that just gives yet another color and a little bit more interest to the field. Now I'm going to be painting in the mountains in the distance, so I'm mixing up a little bit of the ultramarine and the black grape, just to give this a slightly darker blue against my sky. So I'm just painting in this mountain range here really quickly, and just by adding a little teeny bit of that black grape, I was able to draw that ultramarine color down just a little bit. For the hillside there behind the lavender field and below the mountains, I'm going to be using yellow ochre and a little bit of the olive green colors there, just to paint in a little bit of a difference in color, as if that might be like in the distance a wheat field, for example, or just some natural lands. Now that I have those areas dried, it's time to move on to add a little bit more detail to the lavender itself. So here I'm using a darker, heavier pigment load of the violet, and occasionally dropping in some quin violet, just to give the rose of lavender a little bit more definition. Now I'm mixing up a little bit of the olive and the green, and I'm going to be adding a little bit more color to the foliage areas of the rows of lavender, and just dropping that in using a similar texture to the lavender itself, just to give a little bit of visual interest. Next, I'm going to use this number 2 Escoda. It's a Kolinsky brush that I've had for a really long time. A friend of mine sent it to me, and so I really have enjoyed having this paintbrush. I've had it for years and years. So I've gone ahead and mixed up a little bit of the black grape and burnt umber, and I've created a color for the tree bark. Painted that in really loosely, and now I'm just going in and mixing up a little bit of the olive green and a little bit of cad yellow light here to add some foliage to the tree. I also decided I wanted to add some trees off in the distance as well, right along that the edge of that far field. So I've just used the mixture of the olive and the green, and adding just really small tree line there along the back side of that hillside. I also decided to use a little bit of that olive green and the cad yellow light just to add a little bit of brightness to the trees as well. My painting is finished. It's time to remove the washi tape and reveal the beautiful white edges of the paper. I love this part. I think it's really satisfying to see those nice crisp white edges along the outside edge of the painting. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you really enjoyed watching this process. I enjoyed painting it, and I really enjoyed using the Rosa Gallery watercolors. Here's a still image of my painting, so you can see the granulation in the sky. I think it turned out really beautiful, and there you can see the lavender fields in detail as well. So thanks for watching.